Hello and welcome to Thrive After 45, the podcast where we redefine what is possible in midlife. I'm Denise Drinkwalter, your midlife renewal coach, here to help you embrace your power, purpose, and potential. This is your space to let go of guilt, navigate transitions, rediscover joy, and thrive for you, by you, because of you. It is such an honor and a real privilege to welcome and introduce Debra Morrison to the show today. With over 47 years of experience as a fiduciary, certified financial planner, and asset manager, Debra has helped thousands of women confidently manage their money and live untethered, fulfilling lives. Her work extends far beyond numbers, offering pro bono guidance to grieving families after 9/11, becoming a certified grief coach, and standing beside her clients through some of life's most difficult seasons. She is the author of My Husband Died, Now What? And Common Sense Money Guide for Women, and has appeared on CNN, ABC, Fox, and in the Wall Street Journal, Good Housekeeping, and many more. Her TEDx talk, Feel the Financial Fear and Do It Anyway, continues to inspire women to face their financial lives with courage and clarity. Debra brings wisdom, warmth, and a refreshing perspective to every room she enters, and today is no exception. Debra, welcome to Thrive After 45.
Well, thanks, Denise. I'm already thriving with that intro. Appreciate you.
My pleasure. Let's dig in and start from not the beginning, but give us a sense, our listeners, a sense of where you are coming from these days, more specifically.
Right. Well, it's very curious. Give us a start, but not at the start because it was child labor. I mean, it was.
It's like, yeah, we won't go way back,
Yeah,
but
we're not gonna,
yeah.
we're not gonna go there. Yet, where I'm operating now is in a year and a chapter era and a chapter of possibility.
Mm,
And ageism has been so prevalent in our society, at least in the United States of America and most of the North American population, that women have been shuffled to the sidelines. Our use value is kind of like, all right, we're kind of done with you. You had the kids, you had the grandkids. And
mm,
I am on a mission to bring the women out of the sidelines and into the spotlight. And to use one of your phrases, I believe, and fan the embers so that they can find the spark and enliven that spark in them to go ahead and start to learn how to paint or to sing or to play the piano or go into a more of a travel schedule or tutor a child or volunteer in the local whatevers to enliven them and to buttress, Denise, their purpose, because absent
mm.
purpose we can kind of shrink into ourselves in a much smaller version than God and the universe ever intended us to be. And so I want us to, maybe we're going to grow into ourselves, because the focus for women has been so outward,
Yeah.
as you well know, that it's a real change for women to actually, and I always have this near me, a heart mirror, to turn the focus on ourselves. And I'm saying, you not only have permission, sisters, I'm your cheerleader. Let's get at this.
Hmm. How it's so true. And how is a good way to even begin? Do you have something that you could share with the audience that you know is working really well for women? Because it's not our normal. It's not what we do. And it's not because we don't want to, it's because of exterior you've already mentioned. The exterior is pushing against us, and we're always having to push and fight, and we just are kind of like, I'm done with this. I'll be fine. I'll just do my thing. I've got the house, I've got the car, I've got the kids, I should be just happy, but there's something deep that's not working. What types of things do we start to do to figure this out?
Mm. Well, I am want to use analogies a lot because
Yeah.
people, when you talk about finance, they start to say glaze over.
Yeah.
That's not me. And really, finance is so common sense. And I say probably 98% of the people in the obituaries didn't plan on being there yesterday. And when you
Mm.
calculate that, but by the grace of God, I could have been dead, I can be dead, then it draws us into a new appreciation, I think, for the present. And we talk about open the present, and it's a present, and it's we're going to open it and revel in it. And I don't want to diminish that because it's really true. In so
Hmm.
much as I've lost quite a few friends, and I lost a friend 1 month ago, a dear friend of over 30 years. My bad, the mic isn't right where I want it. And so our understanding of the present is heightened by losing someone close to us, and we think, oh my gosh, that can happen, right? We talk about and we joke about getting old, and we have when we go through organ recitals, oh, this hurts and that hurts, and yet we're gonna age if we're lucky.
Yeah.
And I want us to be as prepared as we can as we age. And so I speak of wealth in five categories, Denise. I speak
Hmm.
of wealth as physical, uh, mental, relational, spiritual, and financial. And I always say financial last because when you say wealth, everybody gets thinks greenbacks. And then what do most people say? Greenbacks, I don't have enough. And what does that put us in? It puts us in a negative mindset, a scarcity mindset that is never going to change until we change the channel up here. And we imagine that we are worth it. We can achieve goals and dreams. We don't have, they don't all take money. No, they do not. But it's a matter of us envisioning ourselves in our fullness and having a curiosity that extends beyond the present in order to really come into bloom. And it often is enhanced by women around us. So I have a group, a Facebook group, and you have your own group, and these
Yeah.
groups are very good breeding grounds for women to say, I did that. You can do it too. I picked up a paintbrush and look at my latest painting. And you're like, darn, that's good. And then you go and you pick up your paintbrush or you pick up your recording device or you start typing your book and your anthology or
Mm-hmm.
whatever floats your boat or you have a curiosity about. So I think that numbers help, the sisterhood helps because society has a very strong voice of saying, nah, you're too old. No,
Hmm.
no, no.
Hmm.
All right, you're out of here. Maybe, and companies still have these age requirements that once you're a certain age, you're just freaking fired. You're laid off. You're fired, and
Yeah.
you're retired. And
Right.
so I want us to be political in the framework that our voice, we vote, yeah, and yet our vote, I always say, I don't care who you voted for, that's yesteryear. Now, where's
Yeah.
your voice? And if our voice is taking a stand for women and women's rights to be the full people that we can be, because it's not that way now in the legislature, then I think we are buttering our own bread
Yeah. And who better to do it than us as women? Because we know where the blocks are.
right now.
We experience them.
Yeah. And we have the wisdom and we've skinned our knees enough. And so
Mhm.
instead of saying, oh, I lost $2,000 in the stock market 8 years ago, and say, wait, I lost $2,000 in the stock market. And I'm surprised it wasn't more. I was not taught. I did the best I could. I worked with what I had. And now I have a whole new reservoir of opportunity and resources. And so I'm committed to continuing this investment process and creating my own wealth. And I teach women exactly how to make money. I mean, step by step. So this aspect of escaping from the scarcity mindset and
Yeah.
imagining ourselves, and it might take a little bit of a stretch for us to say, I am wealthy. I deserve my goals and objectives. Try it on
Is
for
there,
size.
right? Yeah. I love the idea of putting it into verbalization, put it into writing, putting it in out there so that it doesn't just stay in your mind because we trick ourselves in our mind, don't we? We
Yeah.
begin
Put them on a
to,
vision board. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Board and have print out a couple versions of the vision board and have it on your refrigerator, have it on your bathroom mirror, have a little copy on your on your cell phone, on your wallpaper of your cell phone, because just like I don't have kids, but I have an imagination. But you're running your cart through a grocery store and the kid's
Hmm.
grabbing this and grabbing that. And you say, no, Johnny, we don't want that because we want what's in aisle 6. And Johnny goes, right, right. And he puts it back and you get to aisle 6. Johnny's forgotten all about it. So we have to trick kids into something other than just the first impulse. And I
Right.
want us to kind of invite ourselves to imagine that instead of just hitting buy with the Amazon or like purchase and it'll be delivered to a locker within 2 miles of your house in 17 minutes, maybe we put that in a shopping cart and let it season for an overnight. And tomorrow we look at it and say, didn't really need that as much as, and my vision board comes up, as much as I want that lake house in 3 years. You see, it's
Right.
that substitute. Maybe you don't want this right now, even as easy as it is. Click, boom, got it, right? And now we actually have an imagination and, Denise, a belief it's possible because
Right.
it is.
Yeah. And thank you for creating the community piece because trying to do this alone, it's a lone wolf. It's lone wolfing doesn't work,
It is. Yeah,
right?
it is.
Yeah. Yeah. What are the biggest myths about money that hold women in particular from realizing the life of their dreams? That boathouse, that cottage, that trip, that second home, that creative outlet of I always wanted to be an artist idea. What holds women back from?
From their fullness, I think. And there are so many. So I'll just throw out a couple and hope that something latches and relates to our listeners. And that is this whole I'm too old. I can't
Uh,
do math. And this whole defeatist idea that has to go. And I say, you probably didn't know a thing about soccer until your granddaughter bounded through the door and said, Grandma, I'm going out for soccer. And pretty soon you're calling offsides from the bleachers in 2 weeks.
Ooh, very good. I love that analogy.
You know, yeah, there's impetus for you to know soccer because you love your granddaughter. How about we love ourselves? You get into an airplane and the captain never gets on and says, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. If the cabin should lose pressure, men, put your own oxygen masks on first. Women, look to the left, put their oxygen mask on. Look to the right, put their oxygen mask on, stand up. Look at the people in front of you, put their oxygen mask on, stand up. Look behind you, put their oxygen mask on. If you still might have air, put your own oxygen mask on.
Hmm.
No.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
airlines have spent millions and billions of dollars on safety, and that is until you can breathe, you can't help other people. And when I have women say, no, I'm not inclined to care about my money and so forth, then, I almost want to ask, which of your kids are you going to want to live with? Because I'm not sure that the feeling could be mutual. And in not all the cases would it be mutual. And so I don't want to be too cute about it, but I
Hmm.
also don't want to kick the can down the road, imagining that something is going to come out of thin air that we haven't imagined yet and going to quote unquote rescue a person.
Right.
I've never had a circumstance and a woman, never, big word, that
Hmm.
I couldn't help get onto a trajectory to meet her goals. Never. And so,
47 years,
7 years.
people. 47 years.
Come on. So
We're
we
going
can do this, women. That is my whole mantra. We can do it,
Yeah.
women. And sometimes you write down, see, like a lot of times, Denise, I'll ask people, what are we saving for? What are we investing for? What's the why?
Right.
And I take us back to our life purpose. What's our why? Because absent a why, we don't have as much verve and energy to pop out of bed in the morning and get at it. And if we don't have a why for this, then we're probably not going to save and invest so much. But if we have a couple whys and we start achieving one or two of them in the near term, that is going to give us a bedrock on which we build our confidence. And then the compounding, which Einstein called the eighth wonder of the world, works while we sleep. That's what they call it. earning money while you sleep, and it issues a dividend, and then the base and the dividend issues gets another dividend at month 2 and month 3 and month 4, and that's how we actually make magic with money, financial investments. I'm here to teach anybody that is eager to shed the shame,
Hmm.
who is eager to actually take responsibility for their life and say, I'm worth it.
Right.
How do we get started?
Love
And
it.
that's exactly, widows come into my office and say, I made a horrible mistake, right? The image is a big metal stake. And I say,
Totally.
okay, Bessie, you made a misstep. And what is it? And she says,
Hmm.
on January 2nd, 2000, I lost $8,000 in the stock market. I said, okay, Bessie, on January 2nd, 2000, you lost $8,000 stock market. What else? That's all, she said. I said, now, Bessie, if that's all, we're great. And Bessie, hope in her eyes. How do we get started?
Hmm.
That, my friends, is a life-changing moment because
Hmm.
Bessie will never be the same. Bessie's finally found an environment, and we can do it as a sisterhood. You don't have to be a financial professional. We can find each other and we can seek out each other to say, if that's the biggest misstep you ever made, we're
Yep.
gold,
Yeah.
because we somehow think that we're in this little utopia and all of
Yeah.
our missteps are exemplified and amplified and they're way bigger than anybody else's.
Yeah.
This is nonsense. Life is short.
Hmm.
Let's be real. And if you're undersaved, then I want to know it because I got strategies to help you with being undersaved. And I'm going to protect you from those marketing efforts that are steered right towards vulnerable people, especially widows.
Women.
And the
Yep.
marketing vernacular is undersaved, need to catch up. Here's your get rich quick scheme. Run like the devil and the other way. So we need to be judicious, especially if we're undersaved. And yet there's never, and I did repeat this, been a situation that I couldn't give a woman a new trajectory and imbibe, and she will imbibe hope and direction and purpose. And it's so interesting that when we get our money right, then other things start to pick up and people say, you dropped 12 pounds. Yeah, and I'm saving systematically. I'm paying myself first. I dropped 12 pounds. I walk every other day around the block, and I'm eating less processed food. You know what? Because once we think we're worth it, then we better prepare ourselves to be here for the long term. And I hope to be there with you, arm in arm. Send Red Rover, send anything
Yeah.
over. We got
Yeah.
it.
Love that. Love Red Rover. Oh my gosh, when's the last time I've heard that? As a former educator, we never got to let the kids play it, but I loved that game.
Oh, I was up from the farm, boy. I bust through anything, right? But yeah, that was my thing. So that's the idea, is for us to team up with each other, because you don't think the guys are teaming up with each other? Yeah, they are. And so it's incumbent upon us to nurture ourselves
Yeah.
and use our intuition, which women are hardwired with, and women are hardwired with common sense, and that's really what money's about.
Hmm.
So there are certain financial terms that one would be wise to know. I list them in the back of my book, My Husband Died Now What. There's a glossary at the back. There's
Right.
references, email and internet references for everything from camps to, grief recovery groups to travel, etc. And I am certainly an advocate of women doing what we can to bond with other women. It's a remarkable
Hmm.
synergy. It's remarkable
Yeah. It's that in and of itself has the capacity to make changes within that environment, doesn't it?
right
Like
now.
powerful, accomplished, empowering changes for the women who connect and collect for I'm not going to say a higher purpose, but for a better purpose. Because there are women that collect and it's just a grump session, then that doesn't grow anyone. This is not anything like that. This isn't woe is me about my finances. Isn't woe is me about, well, I'm aging. It's the
Yeah.
counter opposite. And what do we get to do for you, by you, because of you?
I
in
love
that collective,
I
right?
love that. For you, by you, because of you. Everybody, just let's take that to heart. For you, by you, because of you.
Mhm.
That's how the world is going to change, one woman at a time.
Yeah, and it will. It
And
it
it is. It is.
it is. We have the power
Yeah.
and the likes of you to create such capacity to hold a space that is judgment free, to hold a space that has such wisdom, knowledge, and experience. And your energy is just beyond. I love it. I'm so
Yes.
thrilled to have you
Oh,
here with us.
can
Yeah.
I sneak in one more tip?
Yes,
All right.
please
A myth.
do.
A myth, a myth, a myth. It is so horrible. Women sometimes had watched television. Like sometimes a prospective client would come into my office and say, "Well, we watch 2 hours of CNBC each day." And I think to I chew in the inside of my cheeks, like, "Well, I'm going to disabuse you of that, right?" So the fact is, what women have read about and they've seen on TV and they've seen the financial pundits, their veins popping, and they're the market is crashing, the market is crashing, and when women are like they're saying that with such conviction is like, that's serious. I must mean I should quote unquote do something and I should sell because I'm afraid and I'm nervous. And they sell at the bottom when the market is dropping and they lose money per se. Now, women have been fed this and these images and they're in your face. The neck veins popping is no exaggeration. And the fear of that is such that they only know one R word associated with the stock market: risk. But you know what? Risk is intertwined with return. And the only reason that people do not invest in the stock market for longer term investment objectives is because they have forgotten that risk is the currency for return. And there's a whole lot more return in the stock market. The last 80 plus years, the stock market has averaged 8 to 10%. The last 80 years, the bond market has averaged 4 to 5%. Even with the new math, stocks returned double.
Hmm.
Are we tracking? Double. Such that when women have the myth that stocks are risky and I could lose my money and bonds are safe and I'll never lose my money, that has to be disabused now.
Mhm.
Because you can lose money in bonds. Yes, you can. Both truly, because interest rates and bond prices are in an inverse relationship. So as interest rates go up, bond prices go down. So you could lose actual principal. I know this is a clue phone to many
Mhm.
people, but the other loss in investing uniformly in bonds to the exclusion of stocks for the long term is inflation and taxes will supersede the interest rate that you're getting on your bond. And you're wondering why then you're going to sink instead of swim when you're retired. I remember nickel ice cream cones. I remember 29-cent gas. If you think inflation is going away, I disagree. Inflation is going to be with us. And the only investment beside real estate that has bested inflation and taxes over the long term is stocks. And it's a high time that we learn that stocks are our friend. And we want to be judicious about managing our risk. Yes, we do. That's why you get a fiduciary advisor, not a person that's going to earn a commission. Nope. I don't want any of our listeners paying their broker's boat payment or their insurance agent's boat payment, buying a
Mhm.
big fat commission loaded annuity or life insurance policy. Nope. Seek out a fiduciary planner whose objective is your objective and get advice on low cost, no load investments that will build and compound to
Right.
give you the returns medium to long term that you deserve. And that's how you're going to turn your investing into much more profitable investing. And mostly, let's set our sights and our goals on what we're going to feel when we get there, how we're
Yeah.
going to feel to get in a plane or get in the car and visit our grandkids while they have the concert or the soccer game instead of seeing it on Zoom. Those are life's memories. And that's what people remember on their deathbed, not, I wish I would have been the Standard and Poor.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So in the aspect that money buys options, I'm not saying money buys happiness, so there probably wouldn't be any divorces, but money buys options.
Yeah.
And so with more money, especially if we lose parts of our health, we can engage in various and sundry other options, which is a mercy. And so I've been without money and I've been with money. I can assure you there's a real different feeling in both
Mm,
scenarios. Much prefer to
mm.
have the options.
Right, right. I love that. I love that. You hear all the time, money creates happiness. Money creates options, and you get to choose what you want to do with that, right? Yeah. Deborah, is there anything you would love to share with the audience that we haven't talked about? We could go on, I know, but I want to make sure that the audience hears something from you that you feel would be really a great way for you to give the information you really want to hone in on so that our listeners, and in the show notes, all of your information will be there, and we'll make sure that people can find you and contact you and join your group. We Can Do It Women. Yay! Help build your passion and dream.
Yeah, there is. And two things actually. I was taken to the New
Yeah.
York Stock Exchange at age 9 by my aunt. And I looked down on the floor and my nose was pressed against the plexiglass and all that fist pumping and shouting and the lights and the flashing. And I said then at age 9, I said, I want to be part of that energy.
Mhm.
And ever since I think of money as energy. And so we give money, and we pay bills, we pay someone else, we receive money. And when money is flowing, everything is good. The Great Recession, 2007, 8, money banks stop lending, there's a big stoppage, etc. It's a bad thing. So money like blood and like water, it's best when it's flowing. And so I want us to be a part of that energy. And then the second thing is, it was a life changing moment for me. I think I have very good intuition and I'm grateful to God for it. I'm on live CNN across from Stuart Varney, 1999. And he says, we had some dead time for some reason. And he says, Deborah, tell us your best investment. Well, what is going through my mind? I'm like, what in the world would I say? And I literally said, God, give me something to say. What do I say? A stock, a piece of real estate? And out from my lips came, Stuart, I have two assets in life. My two most important assets in life are time and health, and I don't want to waste either one of them.
Mm.
Whoa, he says, we have a financial planner across the Chiron, Debra Morrison, CFP. We have a financial planner here talking about time and health. He had to take a station break. He was that flustered. And I got in the limo to come back home and I said, thank you, God. And
Yeah.
since then, I've used that because absent our health, this isn't so valuable, right? So time, which we have no idea how much time we have, and we really don't know how much health we're going to have until the day we say, see you later. And I want us to be judicious about putting the most life into our years, the most value into our time, and to bring our health up to a par where it will last as long as we do, because that's going to make things a lot more fun. And we're going to be continuously active participants in our family's life. We're not going to be over there in a wheelchair where people say, oh, it's too much bother to bring Aunt Ruth over here. Wait, no, we're going to be on the floor playing with the kids and the grandkids and the nieces. And so time and health are my two biggest assets, and I don't want to waste either one of them.
Beautiful. Oh, golden. Golden. Thank you so, so much.
You're very
So
welcome.
much.
Very
If there's been something in today's conversations with Deborah that spoke to you, because I know there's more than one thing. So I know there's multiple. There is for me. Things are stirring, I'm telling you. It's possibly stirred a memory or sparked a new thought, or simply reminded you that you are valuable, you are not alone, and when you do it for you, by you, because of you, everyone wins. It is just the beginning, and that's what we want to let you know. Inside Becoming Her, the mentor membership that I've created, is space for women just like you to explore who they are now, who they're becoming, and how to navigate it all with grace, strength, and support. If you loved this episode, please take a moment to follow the show, leave a review, share it with a friend who might need to hear this today. Your journey matters, your voice matters, and we'll see you right back here next week for you, by you, because of you. Thank you so much, Deborah, again for your wisdom.
Thank you, Denise.